Access to basic hygiene is a fundamental right, and through mobile showers, there is a meaningful impact in the lives of the homeless community, providing a refreshing and empowering experience for those who need it most. It's more than just a service, it's a lifeline, and it's called OneVoice Mobile Showers. It's great to have the founder of OneVoice here this morning. Welcome, Josh Wilkins.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Josh, in 2012, you decided to live on the streets of Melbourne for 6 months. Why did you do that?
It was basically an encounter that I had in the city. We were out with some youth. I was a youth pastor back then, and we were out with some young kids, and then the leaders decided to go to the football after it, have something to eat. It was about 2 o'clock in the morning. We were walking through Parliament Gardens, just behind in Melbourne there, and we heard a girl singing. Went to investigate the girl singing. She was sitting on the steps with three other youth. She started telling me about her mum and how she was doing things in the house, and the men coming in there were looking at her. And the question was, "How old are you?" And she said she was 12. At that time, my view on homelessness was an old man on a park bench with a brown paper bag or a drug addict. But this girl was far from a drug addict. Same with the three boys that were with her. So that sort of was my encounter. She voiced being abused in a public toilet block while trying to wash herself up. And she said, "Why me? Why me?" It was about probably 8 months after that encounter that I decided to go out there on the streets and see if showers were needed. I quickly found out that showers were needed. And then it was the housing side of things. And I just met so many young people with so much talent that I wanted to do something to help. So to me, it was the showers was the first thing. And there's no access to showers out there, really.
Was that encounter with that young lady and those folk that are homeless, was that your spark of inspiration to then think, what can I do to support these people?
Yeah. Again, she voiced that she had trouble sort of bathing. The conversation went on with others that were sort of in the group at that time. So that was the catalyst to let's go do something. And like I said, just the fact that there's not a lot of showers out there. I did a little bit of research prior to it, to going out on the streets, but that was my main aim, was to see if showers were needed and to understand homelessness a little bit more. Like I said, old man, brown paper bag, park bench. That's far from what homelessness is that I know today, 13 years later.
So, Josh, what was the process of then turning the vision into reality? Tell us about the process. What happened?
So it was all about trying to find the funds to do it. Investigation on to create showers. We didn't know at the start whether to put it in a trailer or put it in a vehicle. I was sort of pushed towards the trailer idea just through some other connections. So I knew a man in Queensland, and he built trailers for a living. I had spoken with Aldi supermarkets. We were selling bottled water at the time to try and raise funds, but I'd been doing that for about 8 months, and it seemed like a hard slog. So I approached Aldi about stocking the water. And at the start, they didn't want a bar of it. As time went on, the man in Queensland just said, "Josh, you've got the chicken and the egg." He goes, "I'll give you the shower trailer and then raise the funds." So he was generous enough to build this $80,000 contraption for us. We started doing what we were doing, and Aldi then got on board and said, "Hey, we'll sell some bottled water for you to help pay for this shower trailer." So that was the start of the whole journey.
In 2014, am I right in saying that's when you launched OneVoice Shower Services?
Yeah. We sort of registered the organization as a charity first and went down that path of building the trailer. And then by 2014, I think that's when we first came up with the shower bus. So it was about 13 that we launched the trailer and we're operating that. And we were doing that in Melbourne City. So I went down there along the Yarra. There's all these red pods that you might remember. And we parked it down there. It was just one night though. I took it over, the barriers that you keep your car in a car space. I decided to take it over one of those barriers and park it in the middle of these two containers. Not thinking that someone would come and park their car there and we couldn't get out. So it sat there for about 2 months until council asked us to remove it.
Mm. Well, it was late last year that I encountered OneVoice for the first time at Mitcham Community Meals when one evening, on a Sunday evening, when we were helping in that space, and you guys were parked out the front. And I thought, my goodness, what's going on here? It was great. I did view one particular gentleman who had the opportunity to have a shower and clean up, and it was great. He really appreciated it. Is there a special occasion that comes to mind where you met someone, encountered someone who hadn't had that shower for some time, was able to access your services that you can recall?
Basically, when I first started the service, so we had the trailer down there, and we were taking it down for about 3 or 4 weeks, and no one had showered. And I thought, what have I done here? Is this service actually needed? And it was late one night then that a man came along, and he was like fully overgrown beard, like down to here. And he came along and was a bit sort of down. He asked if he could have a shower, and I almost threw him in there. I said, this is what we brought it down here for. So he jumped in there, and at that time, the trailer was connected to water mains, and we'd put the waste down a drain. So he was in there for about an hour and a half before I started getting really concerned. Um, and so I started knocking on the door and saying, you're right. Yeah, no, I'll be out in a sec. I'll be out in a sec. And then it was about 2 hours that he was in there in total. And he came out, he was fully shaved. And he just stepped out of the door with the biggest grin on his face. And that's what made me knew I'd done the right thing. And he started talking and we engaged in conversation. Whereas prior to that, there was no conversation. It was just, can I have a shower? So it woke me up and I knew we'd done the right thing. And then from then onwards, there's been lots of, but that's what kept me going. Because I thought after 4 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks, we'd done the wrong thing, and from there, it was word of mouth and everyone started, having a shower. Some of the services, I remember taking the bus down. We had 2,000 liters of water in the tanks, but we had 42 showers one day. That was our record. And it was amazing.
What a great memory and what a remarkable service. I want to bring David Green into the conversation now. And David works at Crossway Baptist Life Care in the area of community connections. And part of his role is to manage these shower trucks. David, can you just tell us what you've got to do to go about to keep everything in working order and make sure the trucks get to the right spots at the right time?
Yeah, hi Ian. No problem. Yeah, we manage them in Melbourne. We've got several sites that we send the trucks to. We work with Josh to get drivers who will take the trucks down to the areas where we'll locate them. So we manage them for him. So places like Dandenong, and as you said, at the Anglican Church in Mitcham. So we make sure that the drivers know what they're doing. We make sure that the water is in the tank, that the grey water that's been in there from previous showers has been emptied out, and that they've got all the supplies in there. So like shampoo and soap and toothbrushes, all that type of thing, and make sure that the gas bottles are filled up with gas so that the water's hot. And then the drivers take it out when it's allocated to be there. So they might drive it down to Dandenong and say on a Friday morning, and they will set up the truck at the place where there's a community meal. Most often it's connected to a community meal, and people are having a community meal, and then they can have a shower during the period the community meal is running. And so they'll then come out and they will have a shower. And we usually try and limit it. We don't let them stay there for 2 hours like was just described. Try and keep it down to about 20 minutes to half an hour to let plenty of people go through. So there's 2 showers in each of the truck that we have on site, and people can pop in there. We usually have a man and a woman on site to make sure that all things are done nicely. and they clean it afterwards so that it's all fresh for the next person to come through. So if, for example, somebody has a big beard and they trim their beard in the shower, after they've had the shower, we then get the people to go in and clean it, making sure it's all nice and clean for the next person to use. Bring it back to our side here at Life Care or another space, and it's all cleaned out, it's all washed, it's all the dirty water's emptied out, all the fresh water's put in, all the soap and towels, etc., topped up, because we have a company that has been set up to supply fresh towels. So yeah, make sure that everybody gets a fresh towel and a fresh shave and a fresh wash, whatever they need. Toothpaste and toothbrushes are often supplied as well, so that people take whatever they need while they're there having a shower.
That's great. Dave, can you give us just an idea of kind of your schedule of how often the trucks are going out and where?
Yes, so it does. At the moment, we've got about 3 or 4 sites. So we've got one site that's just once a month, which is the first Monday of the month, which is at St. James Church in Dandenong, opposite the big police station. And then we've got others are weekly. So we've got the one in Mitcham, which is a Sunday night, and that's 4 o'clock when people are there for the Sunday evening dinner, sorry. And then we've got also Dandenong Baptist Church. And so we have that every Friday. So Friday morning, they have a community meal there. And so lots of people come there. We're usually having 9 to 10 people having a shower every week at that space. And we've just had a new one start up, which is at Cornerstone, Cornerstone is the Baptist Church in Dandenong, is in Cranbourne, which is the Purpose Church in Cranbourne. And they've just started a few weeks ago. And so they're early stages, but it usually takes 2 or 3 weeks for people to get used to a truck being there. And they've just started having 1 or 2 people coming in for a shower. And they've given me some good report about how that's really helping people to get a shower that previously weren't able to. So, yeah, they're the main sites that are happening at the moment.
And if it's generally about 9 to 10 folk that are having a shower each time that a truck goes out, it makes it incredibly worthwhile. And I guess I can understand that gentleman who spent an hour plus in the shower. If he hadn't had a shower for some time, he was wanting to make the most of it.
Absolutely, they do, yes. And some people that week never miss it. Like there's one guy, Peter, he's there every week in Dandenong at Cornerstone, and he has a shower every time. But others come and go. It just depends. But yeah, for some people, it is the place they have a shower every week.
No, that's great. Josh, if I can just come back to you with regard to any future developments that may be planned for OneVoice. Anything on the agenda?
Yeah, well, we're always looking to start new services. It always comes down to funding. So we've put a bit of a plan together now that we're going to approach some sort of bigger corporate companies and see if we can get more shower vehicles out there. I mean, you could have 5 or 6 in each state quite easily. And what we're noticing now is it's not just people that are experiencing homelessness that are having a shower. We're starting to see dribs and drabs of people that can't afford to keep their gas or electricity on. So I think now's the time to get it out there a lot more, and see what we can do to build more services.
Well, Josh, it's a great story from, that encounter that you had many years ago, over 10 years ago on the streets, and experiencing homelessness and understanding that, but also the vision that's come, and actually then you realizing that vision and putting it into practice. And for David, you're a whole part in the process as well, maintaining those trucks, getting them out there to places. It is really, truly a great cause, guys, and really appreciate hearing your story here at Monday Matters today. Thank you for both being our guests, Josh Wilkins and David Breen.
No problem.
Thank you. Not a problem at all. Thanks, Ian.